Hi there viewers, I am the Extraordinary Tourist and this is day 2 of the InkTober challenge. On the screen you can see the official rules for InkTober, and these are my unofficial additional rules I've added because I'm participating in InkTober using digital inks, and I intentionally didn't display either of those rules very long on screen because if you need to read them, you can either pause the video or you can go back to the first video in this series on day 1 where I talk more about the rules and why they're there. In case you're wondering about what equipment I'm using to do my InkTober challenge, I'm using a Pablo Coast 22 pen display tablet and a Clip Studio Paint to do the artwork in. And this particular drawing, I decided I'd do a version of my cage monster character. If you're familiar with my work at all, you'll have seen this character in the background to some of my websites, and I also created an artwork featuring him, and I put that artwork onto the deck of a skateboard, which is actually available to buy in my skateboard shop, or you can actually buy the character on clothing in my Redbubble store. And I'll put links to both of those in the description of this video. Just to comment on the actual drawing, you saw me do a pencil sketch first on a single layer just using the pencil tool. You'll notice I didn't do any magnifying or anything like that at the page, as that's one of my rules, is to keep the page at the same magnification at all times, so as to try and emulate the use of traditional inks as much as possible. And you can see the character is doing some kind of backside grab there, and it's a variation of a drawing that I did of this character many years ago, somewhere around 1992 I think, which is roughly around the time this character came into being, or when I designed him. And I wasn't actually copying that image, I was just sort of remembering it, and I thought I'd just quickly do something similar to that. If I was able to go and look it up and actually show you the image I'm thinking of, is actually in a slightly different position, so just off the top of my head, and that's really all I did for my planning. And as you can see, my inking, again, no magnification, I'm just using the pen tool in Clip Studio Paint, and I am allowing myself to adjust the thickness of the brush, well, not the brush, the pen, because I don't use the brush, so that I can do various lines of different thicknesses, obviously. I'm also allowing myself to rotate the page, because that is something that you could do if you were doing this with actual real paper and ink. I have to admit, like, inking digitally is a lot harder than inking directly onto paper and with the real medium, in the sense that the pen itself touching the screen doesn't actually hit the screen exactly at the point where you expect it to, even after you've calibrated the screen. I was finding it very difficult to do my really fine details and stuff. I was really wanting to magnify the drawing so I could get in and do those details, but doing my best not to do any of that. So that's a lot of the reason why the lines are fairly rough, on top of the fact that I'm not very well practiced in digital inking as such. There you can see I'm just adding my final details and trying to do a bit of cross-hatching, shading and stuff. At this stage I'm not planning on doing any sort of colouring of my artworks, because I'm specifically wanting to improve my line work, and because I think that will really help with my animation and creating my characters in my animation software and stuff. And it's the line work that's really critical. I'm not too fussed about doing colours using these sort of traditional methods and trying to match the way you would do it traditionally. It's mainly the line work, because I don't want to rely on vectors anymore, where I just draw in vectors and then go back through and edit all my lines to get them right. I want to be able to draw all these lines correctly the first time and save myself a lot of time in doing these kinds of drawings. All up, this drawing took me about 40 minutes from start to finish, which is not too bad. I'm trying to keep all of these drawings during Inktober under about an hour in length, getting them done. I don't want to sort of labour too much over the lines and stuff. I want to be able to do my inking fairly quickly, because obviously that's better for my own workflows when I'm inking characters for animation. For animation. There you go, that's my second drawing for Inktober. That character is known as the Cage Monster character, and when he was first created he was the mascot for Cage Skate Park in Perth, which my sister and myself helped to set up and organise a couple of years back in the early 90s. So there you go, I think the line work is a slight improvement on what I did in my image yesterday, but still I've got a fair way to go to So, I hope you've enjoyed this second installment of my participation in Inktober. Until next video, thanks for watching.